Today we are going to optimize our arpeggio playing technique, and I will share with you some simple tips, some simple steps how to build a better, more efficient technique. And this is one of the most basic piano technique types, so we really want to be very efficient in it. And I call short arpeggios the arpeggios that remain within the same hand position. So for example, when we would loop the same chord, or when we would invert it but nevertheless just remain within the same hand position. And this is a great exercise for beginner pianists who want to learn inversions, chord and their inversions, for example, and who want to build this type of technique efficiently. And this is a pattern which you can find also in the advanced piano pieces, so it's important to build it from the beginning very efficiently, like in pieces like this one. So by the time you get to such pieces, you really want to be able to play them efficiently enough and without much struggle. So let's start from a simple example. Let's start from C major first. And the first step would be to play these arpeggios slowly and to concentrate on a few things. The first thing is to hit each key with the same amount of energy, reaching the bottom of the keys. We make a turn in order to change direction. And while you practice like this, concentrate only on two things. The first thing, that you hit each key with the same amount of energy so they sound even, and each key sounds as strong as all the other keys. And the second thing is that you release all the fingers, relax all the fingers. You work with just one finger at a time. So as soon as I move to the second finger, I just relax the thumb properly. And if you coordinate this hit and relaxation between the fingers, then you don't have to lift the fingers. You don't need this. And actually lifting the fingers limits you quite a lot, and it causes a lot of overuse issues. That's why I'm strongly against it. I really want to promote relaxation and a more lazy and efficient way to play piano. So you practice like this, concentrating on just these two things. And while you hit the key, you also might try to notice where the motion actually starts, because you can play with just kind of finger technique. Like now you see that my arm is rigid, but I just work with the fingers. Or you can also assist your fingers by providing micro impulses from the elbow. You see, so basically I just concentrate the nail joint and the knuckle of my finger, but the impulse originates in the elbow. It's almost not visible, but I can feel it. I can feel where I begin my motion, because I do it intentionally. And this is a great way to play piano, and it works all the way to fast tempos. The next stage would be to coordinate motions, because for the vast majority of learners, these patterns will be more comfortable if you would coordinate your motions in a specific way. So for the thumb, you want a rather pulling motion, pulling sensation. So you don't slide through the key, no, but nevertheless, the sensation is that you kind of want to pull the keys a little bit closer to yourself, like this. This allows you to curve the thumb gently, because we want to curve the thumb a little bit, just a tiny bit. And we want to get close to the key level with our wrist. So our wrist goes very close to the key level here. So then we have a nice curved shape of the thumb, which allows us to feel a good support here in the wrist and in the nail joint. That's why when you play the thumb in piano music in general, when you play piano, a pulling motion, pulling sensation for the thumb works actually best in my experience. And then we play fingers 2, 3, just hitting the keys vertically. Don't think about moving in or out, pull in motion or so. So you just press the keys vertically. But for the fifth finger, you go in. And in the keyboard motion means that your elbow goes a little bit forward. Just a tiny bit. It's like 1 centimeter, half of inch, approximately. So that much. Or maybe that much, just a tiny bit. And while you do so, it's very important to avoid lifting the wrist. Instead, we try to strengthen this knuckle of the fifth finger. So basically, when we move in the keyboard, the purpose of this is to increase the skeletal resistance between the fingers and the hand palm. So we get more of the arch in the hand palm. I'm exaggerating now, so you can just get the idea, yeah? So this is what we do for the fifth finger. So, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. When we switch direction and we go downwards, we use a little bit different motion routine. We go in the keyboard gradually for these longer fingers, 5, 3, 2. So finger 3, 2 is your, like, the highest position of the knuckles. And then we fall back for the thumb. Again, pull in motion. In, towards finger 2, out the thumb. Then gradually in, out for the thumb. So let me demonstrate that again. This motion routine not only helps you to strengthen the fifth finger and to feel more comfortable, it also allows you to play more expressively if you need this, because if you don't think about this, you might end up playing a lot of accents. But if you actually think about pulling the thumb, you can actually support the thumb in order to play this leap more musically, and that will allow you to play it with a bit more expression. So it will be easier to phrase and do shaping and such things. In the left hand, of course, we do the same things, it's just mirrored. That's why when you start working on such arpeggios, you might consider playing them in the mirrored version, when you start from the same key and you go in the opposite directions. And your left hand must replicate whatever your right hand does. Same motions for both hands. Pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. Then you can move that to D major. Here you have some black keys and you have to adjust for them, of course, but nevertheless the motion routine is the same. And only when you feel comfortable with playing it in a mirrored version, doing the same motions with both hands simultaneously, then you go to the parallel motion, and at this point your hands should be independent enough. They will do their own motion routines. That's, let's say, the standard length of this exercise, 4 octaves smoothly, making a curve at the top and returning to the initial position. And then you play that through all the keys, major and minor keys. And now let's speak about longer arpeggios a little bit. So in my previous video, I have shared with you tips how to learn arpeggios that go this direction for the right hand, or this direction for the left hand. Now let's speak about the opposite direction. So when we go here and when we switch positions after the thumb, what is important is to play the thumb on a rather rotational motion. So you don't do this motion, you don't move the thumb that much, you rather use the forearm in order to deliver the thumb to the key. So we are relying more on the rotational element here. And simultaneously with hitting the thumb on this rotational motion, we are flipping over the other fingers. But what is very important to develop in piano technique is this ergonomic quality of this motion, because some people do like this. So we don't want this crawling over motion. Yeah, we don't want to have any tension while flipping the fingers. We want them to be numb. We want them to be as relaxed as possible, like this. So imagine you throw a purse or a bag. Just throw it, boom. And only after that you activate that finger. And of course, as you see, I don't connect positions. If I play in a slower tempo, and for some reason I can't play with the pedal, then of course I would connect them with the fingers. But for a faster tempo, of course I would not connect positions physically, and if I need more smoothness I would just use pedal, for example. Yeah, so here we just have to let the thumb go, simultaneously flipping over the other fingers. That's why a very useful way to learn these arpeggios is to boom, boom, and then you land on both fingers 3 and 2. Like this. Please write in comments whether this was helpful or not. I'm really looking forward to reading to your feedback. Please don't forget to subscribe to this video and check my comprehensive courses on piano playing in the description. Have fun playing piano and see you next time.